It's not workable, that, is it? Because El Salvadorian prisons are already well oversubscribed. They have 109,000 inmates in 67,000 cells. So there's no way of making it work. It's one of those reform promises that is never going to be delivered.
No, I mean, this is using El Salvador as an example. I think that kind of method would work if we find a country who we can do a deal with. But look, let's face it, Reform want to shake up law and order in Britain. I mean, I don't feel safe. I don't know about you, Camilla. We know that young women and girls don't feel safe. The Jewish community don't feel safe in Britain, the elderly. And it's lawless Britain now. So it's right that we push ahead.
Camilla's fixated on one country cell count, whereas Jenkins remains focused on outcomes and a harder approach, regardless of where it is done. Make sure you like and subscribe.
I mean, look, if we look at the stats at the moment, we definitely need stronger sentencing for sexual and violent crimes. There's got to be an easy reporting system for women and people who suffer from domestic abuse. But also, if you look at the county lines at the moment, they're moving from drugs to phone theft but if you look at Lincolnshire, rural crimes, I don't think any government, unfortunately, has really tackled that. And I mean, that's on the up, and it's apparently 3.4 million farming thefts in the UK. And in Lincolnshire alone, Camilla, antisocial behaviour and violent crime is worse than the national average in 3 key areas: Lincoln, Skegness and Boston. And this is, especially Skegness and Boston, this is where we have a lot of migrants coming over as well.
Concrete local metrics outperformed studio cynicism. Jenkins' policies are based on real-world issues.
Where are you on the treatment of sex offenders after they've left prison? I did put this to Mr. Farage at the press conference, and he said he hadn't made his mind up about it, but that we should await further announcements. Some have suggested that if it's a case of a prolific paedophile who has repeatedly attacked children, they should actually face chemical castration. Where are you on that, Dame Andrea?
I've been saying that for a long time, even when I was a Tory MP. Yes. Look, I'm a mother myself. You're a mother. It's an abhorrent crime. People cannot be cured from stuff like that. I personally don't believe they deserve to live, but that's another matter. This is my personal view.
The interviewer dithers. Jenkins is clear about incapacitation for repeat offenders.
Sorry. Are you for the death penalty, I was going to ask?
I am, yes, definitely.
Are you? In which cases?
Murder of children. Murder of our veterans or police officers. It's obviously got to be to the stage where it's beyond unreasonable doubt, but definitely.
That's an operational response. Triage, process, and remove. Camilla's, where would you put them? Question is answered.
OK, so the Kemi Badenoch argument from the Conservatives that we just heard earlier, I don't know if you caught the interview, is it's all very well saying these things, but like the practicality, for instance, of putting migrants in tents, do you accept that that will be quite tricky? Where would you put them? How many would you have? How would there be sanitation? Just answer a few of those concerns, Andrea.
Yes, no, of course. I mean, it isn't our policy anyway. This was me, wasn't it, who said that? Look, the whole point is that if we can have these camps in France, I mean, what I want initially is just send them back, deport them. But we've got to have a place where we process to then send back. And this is what I'm saying, that we've got to have a place where we process, send them back, but only allow tents to be available in the processing centre. Look, I mean, as we discussed when I made that statement, Camilla, this is actually putting an end to soft touch Britain. We're forever going to have this pull. Look, we have these prepaid cards that we give to migrants when they're in hotels that they can spend, a tenner a week or something. We saw in the Telegraph this week they were spending them on gambling. You know,
I think it's actually £7 a day on those Aspen cards.
£7 a day? Oh, blimey.
Yeah. And then there was a Freedom of Information request found out that 6,500 transactions had been used in gambling settings. Carry on.
Yeah, but it's shocking. So if we don't put an end to this, people are going to keep wanting to come over. So that's my whole point about the tents comment. Any benefits should not be there. I mean, look, our British people are struggling, Camilla. I mean, I speak to elderly in Lincolnshire, and as I spoke to Yorkshire elderly people when I was a Tory MP, people are struggling. You know, they're having to make the choice between heating their home and paying their council tax or food. So we've got to have a mentality where we put the people of Britain first.
Even the presenter statistics support Jenkins' point, incentives matter. How about this idea? Trump is obviously over in Tiberi right now. Bev Tono is up there, and we're going to be speaking to her a little later. Has brought down southern crossings by 93% with really tough enforcement on the border. We've also had a number of Republican politicians actively moving migrants into Democrat areas and saying, well, look, if you like migrants so much, you have them in your constituency. Is that something that reform would consider? Send them to Bristol. Send them to Brighton. No, I don't. Look, I mean, we've even seen it with antisocial behavior. Even when I was a councillor in Lincolnshire, where you have alcohol disbursement areas and it just actually pushes people further out into the villages, etc. It doesn't work, and you know, if you're a government, you've got to govern for the whole of the country, haven't you? And so, that wouldn't work. Jenkins prefers governing above gimmicks. Camilla's political theatre receives an adult number. I think on that subject, we've got in front of me now the Sunday Telegraph. Taliban fighters on mercy flights to Britain as a result of the Afghan data breach. We now understand that sex offenders, corrupt officials, and people imprisoned under the US-led coalition are among those who have been accepted for resettlement in the UK after an apparent failure of vetting procedures. So, this is an investigation that we have done as part of that operation to bring people over here after the data breach. I mean, it's just shocking, isn't it? And I'm so disappointed in the previous government that, you know, when I was an MP, we didn't get to know about these because there was no scrutiny. I mean, they could have actually made a private session on the floor of the House of Commons to have truly debated it, couldn't they? And so it's truly shocking the covers and the timing that it was till after a general election. But it's wrong, Kim. I mean, I recall being in the chamber saying that we should publish the stats of crimes per nationality, and I got booed by the Labour Party, the Green Party, the Lib Democrat, and I think, unfortunately, you know, these parties are out of touch, aren't they, with people in Britain. If you can't see where you're importing that what you're importing in the crime levels, then how can you fix a problem? You can't. Camilla laments a difficult story. From her paper, Jenkins offers a solution. Sunlight. Some impressive announcements there. But I did get the impression that your leader Nigel Farage was slowly backing away from his plan to send criminals to El Salvador. I mean, to me, I've always said, even when I was a Tory MP, that no crime is too small to go unpunished. And this is certainly the line that we are taking with reform. The interviewer's gotcha location game ignores the policy's intent. Credible incapacitation and deterrence. Okay, final kind of party-related question. Should Sia Youssef stop tweeting so much? We did have this unfortunate retweet of something anti-Semitic towards Robert Jenrich, who's married to a Jewish woman. Did you have words on behalf of your former colleague in the Conservatives? Is he tweeting too much? Look, I did speak to Zia. Of course I did. What did you say? I'm not going to disclose what I said. But look, I do speak to Zia on a regular basis. I speak to Nigel. I speak to Richard quite closely with Richard in Lincolnshire. Look, mistakes happened. Zia said it's somebody, that was scrolling through Twitter and someone in his team liked it. You know, We've got to accept our colleagues' words for it. Z is doing a great job with Doge and him saving taxpayers' money. And I want him to come to Lincolnshire. So long may he continue and come to Lincolnshire and sort him the finances out here. That's what I'd like to see. All right. Jenkins' debt prioritizes Westminster drama for delivery. Camilla's bait goes no way. Let us know what you think down below into the comments.